This is the AMX M4 MLE54. It is penciled in to be a super heavy with very unique capabilities. Like armor, you have a pretty solid gun, paired with 9 degrees of gun depression, which will be able to poke over those solid angular ridgelines without a hassle. The reason why I'm talking about this vehicle is that within the next seasonal update, it is going to be getting mega buffed. And here's what the changes are going for it. It is first off getting better DPM factors. It is also getting better reload time from 11.41 average down to 11.12 average. And it's also getting more upper plate armor from 210 average to about 220. That means when you are using your bits of gun depression, it's going to thicken down to a point to where no shell is going to be vulnerable in order to cut through this full-on upper infrastructure right here. And not only that, it is also getting the reactive armor mechanic. Kind of surprisingly enough, because this vehicle does have sandbags to improve the hit point factors on your vehicle, it really is going to contribute whatsoever towards this large French vehicle. And it kind of intrigues me to see this because the AMX M4 MLE54, for the current playstyle that it currently is just absolutely amazing. And for some odd reason, Wargaming is going to make it to where this vehicle is going to be extremely broken, if I should say. So let's go ahead and get into a couple bits of gameplay here and see how we can fare well for the vehicle before it gets changed. So let's see what they got in terms of their heavies. They have an E100, a M6 Yo, and a M103 in terms of their heavies. Alright, so it looks like the majority of my team is heading on over towards this side, so that is exactly what I'm going to do. And then I am just going to poke my gun over the ridgeline right around over here and see what ends up being spotted around this side of the map. Alright, using our solid maneuverability while at it. This vehicle has pretty solid hit point factors as well. I mean, I think it only has about 2,600 when you're not running sandbags, but when you are running both of them, you can get the hit point factors up to 2825. That's the really unique part about being a super heavy, is because of that purpose. So, already got the E100 spotted. Nice. We got a 405 tap into his turret. Alright. We got our Hori with us as well, so that's good news. So, looks like he gets a bonker into the E100. I think we can maybe spot another vehicle off to the side. Okay, Ping, you don't have to screw me. I would most sincerely appreciate that. Alright, so it looks like that this E100 is probably not going to poke at the slightest bit as he's getting her blunkered off in the back. We also got the Yo off in the back. Unfortunately, the Yag is blocking the view of him. Alright, well, the good news is that the Yo gets cleared. So I can just go ahead and mosey onward towards this enemy E100 right over here, as he is just continuously getting her blunkered by our guys. So, okay. That's another rat feature about the M4 MLE54, is that its gun is not necessarily that accurate. You can be full dispersion, sometimes you can't be full dispersion, and yeah, it's really just going to lead you to whiffing the majority of your shells while at that. Alright, interestingly enough, they have an M103 in the back of the map, so I guess the only possible thing that we can do is head on over towards these enemies, and this E100 is salty because you put yourself in that predicament, man, and it's clearly not our fault. That's just wargaming for you. So anyways, here we are. Alright, we got the Patton off to the side. Let's get a nice chunker into the side of his turret for 396. There we go, and we do get a bounce along with that. We got the M103 off to the side. He does get a tap into me, but I could care less. Alright, so, alright, and he does get cleared. That's good. Alright, so all that's left is these three enemies. We got the T-30, and we get a 379 chunker, and he did have to fire AGs because it looked like that my turret was the only thing that was poking out upon his behalf. So anyways, we got the Minnow off to the side. Let's see if we can get a hatching chunker into him. Nice, 372 into him. I do also got to mention, though, that for a super heavy, this thing reverses at 19 kilometers per hour, which means that you're able to get out of a lot of danger zones much quicker than what it is reverse-wise. Okay. Well, unfortunately, we did end up seeing that the Minnow's turret could be overmatched, but unfortunately enough, Wargaming was like, no thank you, you are not penning the Minnow. So anyways, he is facing his side, but the good news is that we can load in another premium shell and guarantee the pen right there. Alright. So we got the M48 Patton. Let's see if we can get a tap into him now. He doesn't seem to be a major threat to me at the moment. So there we go. Nice 410 chunker into him. Alright, let's go ahead and push on over towards the M48 Patton. over here, as he is probably going to try to finish off the M4 or the Waffenträger. All right, he is facing his side. Nice tap for 426. All right, reloading once again. Let's see if we can maybe get a clear into this guy, and we do get a bounce from him whatsoever. All right, and goodbye, Mr. Patton. It's nice to know you. All right, and now all that's left is the enemy minnow. This would possibly be a very good demonstration upon the hold down capabilities of this thing. All right, so let's go ahead and mosey onward, just upwards just a bit. All right, so it looks like that the Houri did get another chunker into the minnow. So he is going to move on forward. Nice, 358 chunker and another bounce at that. Very good demonstration to the hold down capabilities and using the upper plate armor to the best that I can. That is the beauty part of being in a super heavy. And we got the minnow once again, and we were able to get the clear. So that is a very solid first game, and we did manage to break past 3,500 damage. It just goes to show that the M4 MLE-54 in the current state that it's in is an absolutely incredible vehicle. It's kind of pretty easy to master at that as well, but if you're just the average player and don't really know what to expect when you're in a super heavy like this, then I don't really know what to say in terms of that, but for the most part, you're going to be having a good time when playing this vehicle. That only is if the gun wants to work the way that it wants to. So anyways, we're just going to go ahead and resupply and get into another battle. All right, here we are. So in terms of their heavies, they have a BZ-75, they have a E100, and IS-7 in terms of their heavies, interestingly enough. So let's see where my team is going to go. Oh boy, we have a stock E100 at that. That is not necessarily ideal. So, okay, even though if this is a loss, which I guarantee it probably will be, I don't really care about what the possible outcome is. As long as we are having fun playing this tank, that's all that matters. So anyways, let's see how we can fare well. Looks like that some of our team is coming with me in the process. So we're just going to move on forward, have our engine boost active. Okie dokie. Let us continue moving on in. Maybe we can spot some vehicles that are trying to push on out or trying to peck us off. All right, looks like we got the BZ-75. It looked like that he was in a position to where he wanted to try to peck us off on that. All right. Well, now that we know he's over there, maybe they have some of their vehicles that are possibly over towards the side right here. Which could be the case, but just to make sure, I don't necessarily know if they would have any of their TDs spotted off in the back, which is a little concern of mine. All right, well, we got the E100 right there. Oh, boy, and that will seem to have been worth it, as I just lost 1,000 hit points right there. Well, I did manage to get a shell into the E100, which is totally fine, but wow, I just made a very aggressive move right there. And, yeah, so let's just pretend that that wasn't happening. So let's go ahead and mosey on through right over here while at that. And the BZ gets a chunker into the E100, and it looks like more of their enemies are spotted off towards the backside. Got the IS-7 now. All right, let's see if we can maneuver our way past the E100. Oh, we can't spot him still. There's a 484 chunker into his vehicle. Very nice chunker into him. All right, let's go ahead and reload once again. Maybe he will continuously be spotted out in the open right here if my E100 isn't a freaking little wuss and then decides to want to move for me. All right, well, here comes the IS-7 once again, and there's another tap for 471 at that. All right, so we did get 3 nice solid chunkers now, which broke past 1,000 damage, thankfully enough. That's really all that matters. So we got the IS-7 once again, and goodbye, good sir. You managed to point your tank out once again, and that caused you to lose the remainder of your hit points. We got the Object 268. Very rad that he hit that shell, but the good news is that he does angle, and then I was able to get a nice slap into him. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm not really worried about the 268 version 4 at the moment, or maybe I could try to get one more tap into him while at that. Okay, so we're just going to mosey on through. Beautiful. All right, just before he can try to slap the shell into me. All right, and he's not aiming in on me at the moment, so I don't really know what I want to do at this point. Let's see if we could try to maybe get a... Okay, so it looks like that he's not going to mosey on over the ridge line, and my E4 over here is in quite the predicament at that. So we're just going to mosey on over here. I think the only possible thing that I could do is clear the Panzer E100. Nice, which is exactly what we do, and that is beautiful. All right, so looks like that the E100 is going to mosey on through right over here. We also got the 4005, who I do not want to... Oh, and it looks like that he is going for me, and wow, he just lost the majority of his hit points due to the 183, who managed to get a very solid slap in him. All right. So I am waiting upon this 268 version 4's behalf right there, as he is spotted once again. Alright, so it looks like... Interesting. Wow. And he wasn't even spotted out in the open. Crazy. Well, I can't complain. I knew this was going to be a loss one way or another. And the only thing that matters is I had fun playing this vehicle. So, yeah. I'll see you guys after the post-game results. This is just ridiculous. Yep, and unfortunately, that was our tragic defeat right there. So, I can't complain. It wasn't our fault. The AMX did do its job for the most part. And we did manage to hit the majority of our shells at that. And we still broke past 2,700 damage at that. And of course, oh wow, and surprisingly enough, our E4 was the one that did top. And this guy right here, not necessarily sure what he was doing. I mean, he was hitting his shots, but still. When you have 40%ers and including a stock vehicle, sometimes that's a cue right there to when you know that it's going to be a loss. So anyways, let us go ahead and get into our third game and see how we can fare well upon that behalf. Alright, so let's see what they got. They have an IS-4, a T110E5, a VK7201 as well, and that seems to be it. Alright. Let's go ahead and mosey on towards the left, see what we can spot. I want to try to cross towards the windmill and use my gun depression because that's possibly the best explanation that I can do. Thank you very much, Pink, for screwing me. Wow, why is my tank going right? That is crazy. Anyways, well, I might have lost the opportunity to go right past the windmill because now I might be pecked off in the back to whoever's just sitting on over towards base C now. Oh, thanks to my lovely Wi-Fi. God, I can't sometimes with it. Alright. We have a no camo chieftain at that too, so it looks like that he just bought that thing because it is in the shop at the moment while I'm recording this video. Alright, and we were spotted for some odd reason, so let us see maybe what they'll have that's maybe going to poke on through right here. Like the VK, for example, and that is a very rat bounce, of course, because full dispersion doesn't seem to work for this vehicle. And yeah, the gun is kind of rat at times. So, let's see, is this VK going to make another poke? I really assume that that is going to be the case, so I'm just going to wait right here for him to poke out his large... Oh yeah, any side scraping, which is even better. Okay, 352 chunker into him, and now the Badger's moseyed on out, interestingly enough. So, that thing is going to be getting tungsten next update, which is not necessarily ideal, and it looks like that he did bounce me in the process. So let's get a tap for 421 to do his vehicle. We're just going to remain put in a side scrape right here, as I know that these players are necessarily bad, and they wouldn't know what to expect with a vehicle in a side scrape at that. 442 into him, and another bounce from the Badger once again, and there we go. Very solid side scraping capabilities, I should mention, for this vehicle as well. Alright, so maybe the VK is off in the back right there, and he bounces me again, which is unfortunate upon his behalf. And another tap for 386, overmatching his round side right there. It's just that the fact that the VK's armor just doesn't necessarily work. Even I think for when it's getting its PBR graphics, it's probably still not going to work for how round of edges that thing has, which is unfortunate upon that vehicle's behalf. So, alright, we're just going to remain put right there. I hope he does bounce me again. He does! Oh my gosh, this guy is so freaking bad. Okay, well, unfortunately, we did bounce him back, but the good news is that we have DPM factors to out-trade him for that matter, so we're going to do that again. Nice, 348 into his side. Alright. Looks like the Badger's going to mosey on up as well. We also got the Hori with us too, and we still can overmatch this guy. Unfortunately, the shell did not fly to where exactly I was aiming. And yeah, that just goes to show that the gun just doesn't necessarily want to work at times. We love this vehicle for that matter. And he is angling once again. There we go. Okay, at least that one flew. Yeah, so pretty solid demonstration. The gun only wants to work when it wants to. So, we got the VK once again. And we get another tap, and he bounces us once again. We've already blocked 3,000 damage, bro. That is absolutely insane. So we're going to reload once again. Let's see. Oh, unfortunately, he gets away, but that's totally fine. All right, so we're going to lose this battle one way or another as well. And the Caro is moseying on up directly behind us, which is not necessarily ideal. So we're just going to go ahead and mosey onward towards this guy right over here. All right, hello, Mr. Caro. How are you, good sir? Alright, let's just wait for you to make a mispoke at that. There we go. Nice tap for 391. Alright, we got the STB off of the back now. Alright, and I do get track, which is unfortunate. So it looks like that is going to be my tragic defeat. Alright, so we're just going to mosey on through towards this enemy right here before I get cleared. And he lights me on fire, which is not necessarily ideal. And that is the game. We love the teams, and that is most necessarily a very solid example to where if you don't have support, or your team just dies in a matter of seconds, there's no way that you can get out of danger zones like that. But we blocked 4,000 damage just by side scraping the whole time, and it just goes to show that these players are bad. I'm curious to see the percentages of them. So the VK72... wow, he's a 52%er, and he doesn't even know what side scraping is. Like, that's absolutely crazy. How about the Badger? I'd be really interested to know. Oh, only a 53%er with 800 battles. And clearly enough, our Chieftain, yep, exactly my point. A no camo Chieftain, just bought it, doesn't know how to drive it, and he kills himself, only doing 1,100 damage. That's unfortunate. But I can't complain. The AMX M4 MLE54 is still a fairly solid vehicle, or a very solid super heavy nowadays, and I cannot wait for the changes in the very next update, as it's going to improve dramatically for this vehicle to become a better overall beast in the battlefield. So hopefully you guys did end up enjoying today's video, and if you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and make sure to turn on those bell notifications while at it so you don't miss out on any new videos. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all.